Hi there, this is Science for, November the 13th, Friday the 13th. Just a quick little chit chat about what's going on. So this first page that you have is a hand-in, because what you have to do is you have to you can log into CK12 and you can use our class code, or you can follow the link, or I'm actually going to right away show you another way to do it. And then I'm going to go through the diagrams on the back to make sure you have all the appropriate parts. So give me a second while I stop my share or change how I'm sharing my screen. All right. Oh, look at this mess that I have here. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So I'm going to pretend to be a student. It's time for science class, or it's, the morning. And first thing I think you should be doing, you should not even be checking your email. You should get in a habit of going straight to SIIT and to the student dashboard and log into Brightspace. At least for me, I hopefully would like you to get to the point where you don't even worry about email. It's like, oh yeah, I better see what we're going to do in science today. So I'm just going to go to my Brightspace page. And I'm hooked up here as a learner. So when you click on your page, it should look really similar to this. If you ever get lost, you click on the eagle in this corner, and that will always take you back to this one page. So to get to science class, you can scroll through your list. So there's my Science 10 there. I can click on it, or I can click on what they call the waffle, and it gives me a list of all my classes. So I'll do it that way. 6 of one, half dozen of the other, it doesn't matter. All right, so there's me as a learner. We're in Science 10, and this is course home. And today I posted, good afternoon, and our link is right there. And then I did a little blurb about what we're gonna do today. So the emails that you get are gonna get shorter and shorter, because I really want you just to go to Brightspace, because that's our online learning platform. Okay, so activity feeds on the first page, and that's where I try and post, this is what we're gonna do today. And then we can go to content. Now, we can go to content by just scrolling down the page, or you can click on that button. But since I'm here, body systems is where we're at. And I want to look at reproduction. So under reproduction, I've got a Word document. And it is exactly the one that you guys have. Now, if you're having a bad day and you can't find this, or you haven't been here to pick it up, you could, if you have a printer, feel free to print it. But there's nothing saying that you couldn't just look at this and on a sheet of loose leaf, write male reproductive system, question 1, and then answer the question. And then question 2, you don't even have to rewrite the questions, right? There's nothing saying that you have to have a physical printout and you have to write on it. Okay, you could put it in a Word document. At some point, I hope to be able to actually put these on so that you can just download it, type the answers in, and give it back to me. I'm not there yet. So anyway, you can get that. But if you look in this document, those links are live. So you can click on it, excuse me, and it'll take you right to the page that you want. So you don't have to log into CK12. You don't have to look at the big long link. It's there. And before, let me go back. Come on. All right. I'm going to go back one. Before I realized those links were live, I also put the links in here. So if you want to get to the male reproductive system page, it takes you right there. Okay. So you can go through the parts, and I think, let me check.
Sex is a big gamble. I mean, the mental risk.
Okay, you can even watch the video right from there. So there is some questions, fill in the blanks, and then a couple of questions based on the video, all from there. Now, I'm gonna stop the share. And that means I just look like I'm randomly staring at my screen, but I am clicking stuff. All right, so your job is to do the front page, fill in all the blanks. The other part, oh, sorry, I just spilled coffee, water all over my book. Get that out of the way. So sorry. Okay. So part of your next exam and or your final is going to involve labeling some diagrams. If you do this and you Google it, that's cool, but I just want to make sure that we are all speaking the same language. And that is the scientific terms for things. So I'll just go around and I'll label everything, and as I'm doing it, you can label it too, and I'll tell you some important facts about each of these. And they should probably match what's on the first page. So that first thing there, that is your prostate. Okay, sorry, I said your, if you're a guy. All right, so prostate is a gland, and it goes, number 2, right around the urethra. Now, I want to do this one, number 11 is your bladder, because these 3 all work together. So from your bladder, you've got some things called ureters, and those go up to your kidneys. And your kidneys clean your blood, and they make urine, and the urine collects in here, and then it comes out through the urethra. Getting back to the prostate. This gland actually goes all the way around it. So if this is the urethra, the prostate is all around it. And here is possibly the most important thing you may learn this year. Prostate cancer is really common in older men. Okay, my dad passed away from prostate cancer. My father-in-law currently is battling prostate cancer. Okay, it's bad. What happens and what the problem is a lot of time men don't know that they have prostate cancer until it's pretty advanced, because there's no symptoms until they're trying to go pee and they can't pee very much. Or it feels like they always have to go to the bathroom, but they only pee like for, 2 seconds and it's done. And it's really hard to, nobody wants to talk about that stuff. So they'll kind of, some men will ignore it for a while. Here's a solution. And this is for everybody, either guys for you when you're older, or anybody that has a male in their household that they care about and who's probably, I don't know, like getting into the 50 or 60 range. You want, this is very important, you want them to ask their doctor to do a PSA test. Okay, prostate specific antigen. It doesn't matter. Just get a PSA test. And I say this because this gave my dad 10 more years. My sister is a lab tech. And one day she was doing dad's lab work at the hospital. I don't know what he was in for. And just because she checked off this box, she's not supposed to do that, but she did. And they checked his PSA level and it was elevated. And they were able to find that my dad had prostate cancer before he had any symptoms. So he was able to go and get radiation and get treated. And it was 10 more years before they figure it came back. So he had 10 years of good life because they got this done. And it's a blood test. So there's nothing difficult about it. All I got to do is check a box. And I suggest if you have a man in your life who's important and they're getting older, ask them to get that checked. Send them to their doctor, make them get it checked, because that can save a life. There's my little spiel for today. And I did it without crying. Kind of impressed with myself. Okay, back to work. So number 2 is urethra. Number 3 is the penis. Penis's main job is to get the sperm into the vagina. Okay, number 4. I better check. That is scrotum. And the point of that is sperm do not reproduce well at body temperature. It's too warm. So they're actually in the scrotum, which is outside the body, and it's about 2 degrees cooler, and it's a better system for the sperm to form. All right. So number 5 is foreskin. Number 6 is glans, which is basically the head of the penis. Number 7 is epididymis. And number 8 is the testes. All right, so what happens? The sperm forms in the testes, and then it hangs out in the epididymis to mature, and also until it's needed. If it's not needed, then the body reabsorbs it. If it is needed, then it will leave the body via this thing called the vas deferens. And when it gets to about here, whoops. Okay, let me label these. It goes up through the vas deferens, and when it gets to the seminal vesicles and the prostate, those add liquid to the sperm. Semen itself is only about 5% sperm and 95% liquid. And those liquids are there to provide nutrients for the sperm, keep the pH, protect them from the environment in the vagina, because the vagina basically thinks of the sperm as invaders. And the part about energy, they say the equivalent of the sperm going from the vagina up through the uterus into the fallopian tubes is the same as somebody going to Newfoundland, wherever the farthest east part of Canada is, and swimming across the Atlantic Ocean to Paris or to France. So you don't take a lot of stuff with you. So that liquid that goes with them provides them the energy to do that. And then it comes out the urethra, which is the same tube that urine comes out of. And I think we got everything labeled on that one. All right, we got the side view diagram. Oops, while we're at it, forms of male birth control. If you, okay, I'm not gonna write it, but there's always abstinence, which is like not having sex. A permanent form is vasectomy. And for vasectomy, what they do is they cut or they block the tubes right there so that the sperm can't get there. So they cut vas deferens, EN, no sperm. But everything still looks like this. Everything still works. The sperms or the semen still looks exactly the same, but you're just 5% of it is missing, so there's no sperm in there. So that's a permanent form. It can be reversed, but the chances of having a baby after it's reversed is pretty small, because this is a small tube, and when they try and do the corrective surgery, there's going to be some scarring in there, so it's going to be tough. Another common one is condoms. Those are probably the 2 most common ones for male birth control. Condoms are good because they're the only thing that will, I guess, other than abstinence, protect from STIs, sexually transmitted infections. All right, sideways diagram. All right, so number 1 is a seminal vesicle. Number 2 is the anus. Okay, so this is the end of the digestive system. The digestive system goes up that way. This little bitty guy there, he's not on the other diagram. It's called the Cowper's gland. And it works along with the seminal vesicle, the Cowper's gland, and actually number 10, the prostate, all to add liquids to the semen to make ejaculate. Or sorry, I'm gonna get that right. They add liquids to the sperm to make semen. Number 4, that is the vas deferens. Number 5 is epididymis. Remember, that's where the sperm mature. 6 is the scrotum, S-C-R-O-T-U-M, sorry. And we got testes. And I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I'm going to say that's urethra. So that's the same tube that, again, that the bladder urine comes out of. And we got penis. And bladder. And whoops, there we go. So on the next exam, there's going to be some kind of diagrams and you're going to have to label them. So get to know the scientific names for all the parts of the male reproductive system. Thank you and have a lovely day.